Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
Cindy Fries, and I'm with the Central Delaware Chamber. And I just want to introduce Michael Greene from the principal.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending and joining. We hope you all had your coffee. I had mine. Coffee is important, right? Coffee coaches, right? We're here because we're getting started. Coffee is important, gets us warmed up, gets us off to a good start. And I just want to first introduce myself as a financial advisor with Principal Financial Group, but also I work in the Allen Insurance Group office. And Allen Insurance provides health benefits and property casualty benefits and all kind of risk protection for people. Happy to be there. Happy to be here with you this morning. And why don't we do this? Since we have a smaller group, we're going to have some poll questions later that I'll shoot out to you. And if you want to participate, you can. It'd be greatly appreciated if you can. But what we'll do now, though, is we'll let people who are on, if you want, introduce yourself, tell me something brief about your business, and maybe one fun fact about you that you like to share.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Michael. My name is Amy Reardon. I'm an outreach specialist with Delaware Commute Solutions, which is a free commuter program for DART, which is public transportation for the state of Delaware. And a fun fact, Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I'm a big horror, scary fall festivities, fan. So there's my fun fact. And it's, it's the season, so why not share that?
Thank you, Amy. I like the fall too. We were just talking about that this morning. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Oh, good morning. I am Kathy with Clear Captions. We provide a free phone for anybody in the United States that has any form of hearing loss. They get the caption phone at no cost. I cover part of Pennsylvania and the whole state of Delaware. So if anybody knows anyone who wears hearing aids or struggles hearing on the telephone, please reach out to me, because I'm the one that actually goes into the home and installs the phone and teaches them to use it. And please, if there's any events out there, definitely invite me to any senior events, because I would love to continue to share this business with those in Delaware. And a fun fact about me, I don't know if any of you ever watched in the 80s a dance show called Dancing on Air. I used to dance on TV when I was a teenager. My mom was a TV producer of the show, so I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to meet celebrities and dance on the show. So that's a fun fact.
Thank you very much, Kathleen, for sharing that. And that is a fun, interesting fact. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have one more on. Jennifer, if you want to share something about you, your business, and one fun fact.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Jerzak. I work for the Department of Labor. I'm actually with DVR now. I was with Employment Training for 21 years, and I'm over with DVR the last year, which has been great. We work with individuals that have different abilities and disabilities looking for employment. So I'm not even sure what a good fun fact would be about myself, but I guess I've been born and raised in Delaware, but I'm first generation here. So
Okay.
not real exciting, but
You're an actual Delawarean, from what I hear?
yes. Yep. I'm
Okay.
first generation here. All our family was from North Shore and Florida. Maryland, Florida. Well, my dad's side was from Maryland, but we're the first ones that actually live in, like, we're born and raised and live in Delaware in our family.
Okay.
Myself. Yeah.
Nice to hear. Nice to hear. So I have a poll question for everyone here. And this is going to lead into our discussion. But the poll question is this, and in the chat, if you can, just type in your response. But what's the world's most popular vacation spot, city? What do you think? Just go ahead in the chat. We're going to we'll tell you the answer in a second, but go ahead in the chat, put your response.
Mine says chat turned off by host, so I cannot do the chat.
Oh,
Boy,
let me
how
see
do
what's
I
going on
turn
here.
that on?
Try it now. Try it now. It's working.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Okay, good. And we have some responses. Good. Okay. Guess what? The answer is Paris. And
I
funny
was going to say,
because we just had the Olympics there, right? So
yeah,
that is actually the most popular, the world's most popular vacation spot. In the US, it might be different. In the US, it might be Hawaii, right? We like those beach places, right? Islands, right? And that's a good transition for us because in retirement, a lot of people, that's the number one thing they want to do is travel, right? And of course, we want to be able to help people get there. We want them to be able to travel. We want a business owner to be able to have cash to retire well, right? That's our goal. My goal with Principal is to help business owners do that, right? If that's their goal, right? So I'm just going to share again my role again and what we're going to go over. The purpose of this is to help small business owners. So if you're not one, please pass this information along to people who are, or family members you know just want to retire well and might not know what tools or what accounts to use to take advantage of so they can retire well. So what we did at Principles, we actually did a study and collected a bunch of information from polls from business owners. And in that study, and I'll tell you some of the results from the study in a second, in that study, data was collected from 1,020 online interviews. And this is pretty recent. This is January 2024. So respondents qualified to take the survey if they met that criteria, as you could see there. We're talking about, of course, adults, right, that own businesses that are actively managed, right? And these results are weighed on annual sales. So these potential respondents agreed to participate in the survey. They're active business owners. These estimates aren't exact, they're theoretical. And any information we go over, of course, is not tax advice. It's not financial advice. If you want specific detailed tax advice or financial advice, see your professional or schedule a one-to-one with me if you want financial advice. We could help look at your situation and see what would make sense for your business. Okay. So what was the survey about? What did it find? Well, business protection is a #1 priority for business owners since 2010. And of course, that's a very important. We know businesses want to continue. So protection is very important. Voluntary benefits is always high. And as you can see, some of those other numbers, record 72% of businesses have been run for 10 years or less. Now, that's true, but what's also true is these are growing businesses. A record number of businesses are growing or doubling since 2015. I don't know if you're a stat person or not, but this is pretty eye-opening. When you hear a lot of negative information, yeah, there's negative information out there. I'm sure there's things we could talk about that are negative, of course, right? But there's a lot of good things that are happening too. Offering EAPs, emotional wellness programs, they've reached all-time highs, and you probably are aware of that. And then 6 in 10 people that own businesses are family-run businesses. So another fun fact, another good piece of information that we may find useful, right? We might have a friend that has a family-run or family-owned business. And then some more key findings. For the first time, employee feedback is the #1 influence in employee benefit decisions. So business owners are listening to their employees, which is a great thing. They also want to be competitive. So they know that a part of being competitive is actually listening, right? And making sure they know what their employees want. And they know what they want and their family wants, right? Again, these are family. A lot of these businesses are family-run businesses. And there's some other key findings there. 7 in 10 owners say benefits improve retention, recruiting, and productivity. These are all important things. Of course, we know if we run a business, once we improve our benefits, our retention goes up. That's usually the case, right? And then 7 in 10 business owners have a succession plan. A lot of employees they have are worried. what happens if talented Mr. White passes away? He does so much for us and our company. What's going to happen to my job? That succession plan makes you feel at ease. You know, if something happens to your most talented person, there's a plan to have the business continue, right? That puts a lot of people at ease, right? A record number of owners say retirement is 11 or more years away. That's 62%. So that's a pretty big number. There's a lot of data here, and I'm not going to go over every little piece here. I think you want to know some of these key findings, I know, but there's some other things that we want to focus in on that I'll just skip through. Let's see, where's my presentation here? Here we go. So, and again, this is the protection part. Every year protection was one of the #1 things. People don't want to get sued. People, of course, don't want to have the business, someone passes away, just kind of go away. So that's important. And health insurance, of course, is #1, right? People want that health insurance to be solid, those benefits, right? Solutions for employees. Here's where we're going to focus on how you can hack your business or hack your even personal situation so that you're not giving more money to the federal government and you're keeping that money. And actually, here's the real key. You're actually making money off of your tax debt, which is amazing. What the survey said, the #8 priority is having a 401k, a traditional defined benefit plan. And the 401k plans are always the most popular plans. Also, employee stock ownership plans are popular as well. Those are record highs too. And that is where the employee offers a piece of the business, maybe at the end of the year as a reward or quarterly, it depends. You could structure it the way you want. They also have RSUs, restricted stock units, where you're awarding stock to your employees, and they're not just purchasing it, which are also very popular, and they're good motivators for employees. And of course, we want to plan. Planning, of course, makes it easy. Planning could help you reduce your tax burden. We're going to get to that by having one of these, because let's be real. If you're the employer, you're not just doing this to make your employees happy. You want a tax break and you want to retire yourself, right? You want to build your retirement up. So that's why we do this. The elephant in the room is, yeah, we want to make money as an employer. You want to also save in taxes. And of course, you do want to reward your employees. So business planning is crucial for that. This is another fun fact, and this is not a surprise. You're probably, Mike, of course. Yeah, business owners want more cash. Yes, that's the #1 thing they want, more cash. So your cash flow analysis is super important. There could be effective ways you could restructure and remanage your cash flow. There could be ways you could, through investments, have padding. That padding helps you not worry because it's not invested in the market. It might be interest rate sensitive, but that's a cushion for you. So there are a lot of different ways we can look at your cash flow situation to see if we can make you more effective that way as well. Okay. And of course, 29% of people for both their business and personal lives use an advisor or of course, a CPA, a financial professional. 19% for their personal, just their personal, 14% for just their business. But again, a big chunk for both. 62% use a financial professional for at least one. So more detailed findings, and I'm going to skip through these. I'm going to get to the accounts you want to have, and I'm going to go back because finding that account to help your business lower their reportable income is crucial. Now, you might say, oh, I know what a 401k is. I know it defers my income. And yes, it does. But it could also help you with a tax break if you're a business owner. Those tax deferrals could be crucial and they could be significant. And we're not going to go over all of them. If you have an individual circumstance or situation where we can look at it and there's more tax savings we could help you get, then we will. And again, there are a lot of other tools you could use to get those additional tax savings. Be happy to talk to you on a one-to-one with that. But these are just some general ones that everybody has access to, everybody can find. This is not secret information. Even the ones that are complicated, all that information is available. It's hard to find, We should be taught financial literacy more. Clearly, it's something that we should all know, but it's not always taught, right? And unless you grew up in a family where you had really financially literate people, maybe who worked as advisors or worked as CPAs, it's hard to find, but it could be crucial. And a lot of people say, we're going to address this too. I don't have enough money to save. I'm an average everyday American and I need money for groceries monthly. I need money to pay my mortgage. There still could be a situation where you make out better and you can afford to save. In fact, you can't afford not to save in one of these deferred accounts. And we'll go over an example in a second. Okay, so let's just go over just some traditional types of accounts people have. For people who work, people have heard of a traditional IRA, a 401k, or a 403b. A 403b is for nonprofit organizations, for government organizations. They're only allowed to open those accounts and they have special features. But for the sake of time, we're going to consider a traditional IRA, right? Traditional IRAs, you put money in, that money is deferred. When you turn 59 and a half, you can pull that money out and just get taxed on whatever that year's federal or state taxes are in your bracket, right? If you pull it out before 59 and a half, there's a 10% penalty for taking it out on top of your federal tax rate. But it's very good to do that, to put money in those IRAs, traditional IRAs, because you could defer taxes. In other words, say you have $75,000 you make a year, and you put 20,000, you can't put 20,000 in. Say you put 7,000 in, right? So that subtract 7,000 from your reportable income. That's 70,000 now that you're reporting as your income. Lowering that $5,000. You could even lower it to 7,000. So if it's 50, 7,000, that's actually less, right? Right. That's and I lost my count there. 68,000.
68.
Right. So you could do that as well, and you drastically reduce your income, and that might actually reduce you a tax bracket. But we'll go into a situation where that could happen. In 2024, if you're under 50, your max for an IRA is $7,000 that you can contribute. If you're over 50, you can do a catch-up of 1,000 is $8,000. And with these catch-ups, of course, if you make a lot of money, you could easily go over that 8,000. And herein lies, if you're a small business owner, the SEP IRA. So if you're a small business owner, and usually businesses generate a lot of revenue, especially if they're, successful and they're really, really busy, right? They generate a lot of revenue, and you don't have time to look at everything all the time. So you might say, Mike, hey, just give me half an hour. Let me look at my situation. That's all I have, right? And that's fine. But if you're a small business owner, a SEP IRA may be better for you than an IRA, because you may have a lot of cash that you want to defer, right? And the max is $69,000 in 2024 for eligible employees, right? Now that means that 25% of your income you can defer, right? So if you're not making 4 times $69,000, right, you can't defer the $69,000, right? It has to be 25% of your income maxed out at $69,000, right? So even if you're making more than four times $69,000, you can't contribute more. So you might say, hey, wait, what if my business is making $900,000 a year, and I don't really need that money for my expenses, but I'm behind in my retirement? What are my options? How can I defer more? Well, a 401k could help you defer a lot more. A 401k could actually help you defer $40,000 more in a year, right? So you have the $69,000 for 2024, plus you have a catch up of $7,500, plus you have a match. This part's the match. Plus you have $23,000. So almost $100,000 you can defer, which is pretty significant. And here's why. Because say we look at a chart of what taxes are today, right? And I'll bring that up. This is, anybody can go on this, and everybody here is going to get this information too. So this is actually NerdWallet, but you can, of course, go on irs.gov, right? And get this. So say you make $400,000, right? That puts you in the 32% bracket. Remember, you could defer up to 95,900 or 500. I forget how much it is. You have to add those columns up. It's around that. But almost $100,000 you can defer, which could put you back in the 24% bracket. So that's an 8% reduction in your yearly taxes. That is pretty huge. And then say you are an average American. Remember that example? Two people, husband and wife, they make 50K. And they say, oh, I can't afford to save for retirement. Well, you might not be able to afford not to, right? Because say you save, right? And you save just $4,000 in a year, right? And you're at 95,000. That keeps you in the 12% tax bracket, a 10% difference. So $20,000 less in taxes could be your savings. And not to mention the gains you could get from your investments, right? We don't want to predict, we don't know what the gains are, but likely over the years, time value of money, your money could be, your tax debt could be growing. And we want to be clear. This is a deferral strategy. Eventually, the IRS is going to say, okay, you had your years to defer. Eventually, you have to pull it out. So there also should be a plan for how you pull it out when the IRS says, okay, your deferral period's over. Now you have to pull it out, right? And of course, there are other accounts, tax advantaged accounts like a Roth IRA that could be a strategy to help you pull that money out and dump it in the Roth IRA. Again, we can get into a lot of that later. This is a lot of information for a lot of people, so we definitely don't want to overwhelm anyone. Anyone looking at this for the first time could be overwhelmed. I mean, it's pretty complex, but it's very useful. So let's just take a break now. Let's take a break and let's just do another poll, okay? In this poll, we're going to talk about specifically what we're talking about now, about a small business situation, right? Some of you know this. You're not graded on this, by the way. So in the chat, it doesn't matter what you pick. We're gonna give you the answer, right? So let's just look and see if we can answer this question real quick. And I'm navigating through a lot of screens. That's why it's taking me a while to put it up. Okay, screen right here. Okay, what is the current 2024 self-employment tax rate? What do you think? The current self-employment rate. The chat is all the way at the bottom, by the way. Should be. I don't know if you're on your phone. If you're on your phone, it might be in a different place. Okay. I see some responses here. Okay. We will go ahead and give you the answer. And some of you, wow, 23%. I'm glad it's not 23%. It's a little lower. It's actually, it's 15.3% is the self-employment tax. And the reason why they have self-employment tax is when you're a business owner, you're not necessarily contributing to Social Security. That's how the federal government tries to fund, if you will, Social Security and Medicare. But you could significantly eat into that self-employment tax by these deferral accounts, right? By these retirement accounts that you could just easily set up and do. The 401k is a little bit more complicated to set up and monitor. But the SEP IRA, the IRA are not hard to set up. The 401k is going to give you, just as a quick review, your biggest tax advantages because you could contribute a lot more to them. And they're easier to set up now than ever because technology has gotten better. Competition is more intense, right? Which is good for you. But 15.3% on top of your tax rate you're paying. So 15.3% on top of your federal and state taxes could be a lot, right? So we definitely want a strategy to eat away at those rates so that you're not paying more than you should in taxes, right? And let me go back a little bit here. So let's go back to our presentation. And in our presentation, we see the federal, the 401k maximums there. But what could this mean for you and I? The impact of using and leveraging the right accounts can be life-changing. the artist formerly known as. I loved him. Prince, remember him, right? Good music, right? Talented. He did not have a plan at the end of his life, and he didn't have any dependents. So he might have thought my estate didn't have to be outlined. But 40% of his estate was taken by attorneys and tax professionals and greedy people, unfortunately, right? 40%. They said he was worth upwards of 300 million. 40% of 300 million is a lot of money, right? And his poor sister got a fraction of it. She's still going through court. I don't know if they got the issues resolved, but we see how even for just an individual who's not wealthy, this is important, right? So it could mean life-changing things for you to make sure you have, if you don't make sure you have a plan in place to address taxes, investments, and your estate, right? So if you want more information, please contact me. There's my cell phone number. There's my email address. If you know someone who is retiring and you know that they don't have a plan, or everybody could use some advice, right? Feel free to pass my information along to them. And you'll all get this before you leave as well. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave this part for questions. So any questions now about the presentation? And you could, if you don't want to say your question, you could put your question in the chat if you want.
Anybody?
Any general questions?
Well, here's one.
I see one there. I cannot share the slides, but I will give you a general overview of what we did and the link to those tax brackets, both the IRS and the NerdWallet. I would say double check with irs.gov. Even though NerdWallet's pretty accurate, you're still going to double check, do your due diligence with that. But good question.
Jane, what company are you from? Is it Jolene? The YMCA, okay.
Okay. Any
Well,
other
does it-
questions? If not, I do have 2 more polls that I want to share with you. By the way, what do you think about the polls? Are they informative? Are they good? If not, I'll scrap them. Pretty good?
Yeah.
All right, let's throw another one out there. I didn't think I have time for that one, but I do. I have plenty of time here. So how much do you think? Let me share this. This is kind of a review of what we went over. What are some main differences between a 401k and a simple IRA? And there's your 3 choices. And I'm actually going to stop sharing that because I just gave you the answer in it. I hope you didn't see that. What are some key differences between a 401k and a simple IRA?
I don't know.
Okay. Main difference, and I'm going to share with everybody. I know that's a challenging one, right? That's the bonus question, right? So this one, the reason that 401k is better. So choice 3, I don't know if you saw choice 3. Choice 3, 401ks are almost always better at building wealth fast. Are they the best for everyone? No. Are they the best for high income earners who have really profitable businesses? Usually, yes, right? Some reasons why they're better is they offer higher yearly deferral amounts. As we looked at the chart, you could defer over almost 100K with the 401k in 2024. If you're an employer that has less than 100 employees and does not pay any national average above national average salaries, then a simple IRA might be better for you. If you have employees that are likely making over the national average, 401k likely will be better. Okay. So I hope that was useful information. And I'll give you another fun fact, and I'll pose it as a question, but you guys don't have to answer. So one more, and then I'll open it up to questions again if we have more questions. But this is an important one. How much do you think you need to retire? How much money do you think you need to retire? What do you
They
think?
say 1 million.
Very close. Very close. And these are some assumptions here, okay? The assumption is you need $60,000 to cover your expenses every year for 25 years. So with those assumptions, what do you say? How much do you think you'll need? The answer is 1.5 million. And again, here's the assumption. The assumption is that you need $60,000 from your nest egg annually for 25 years. In this case, 95% of the time, this is what's going to happen according to the Vanguard nest egg calculator. And you have a portfolio that has 50% stock, 30% bond, and 20 cash. So of course, it would be different if that allocation was different. So we're making that assumption. So making that assumption, you need 1.5 million. Okay. Now that sounds like a lot of money, but if somebody has a pension and Social Security and they live that long, that could likely equal that, right? Depending on how much the pension is. Your Social Security, if you take it for 25, 30 years, could be $500,000 to $800,000 by itself. A pension could be more. If you don't have a pension, a 401k, you need a 401k plan, right? Clearly you do, right? Okay, any questions on that? Or any general questions at all? Okay, what did you guys think?
Interesting.
Okay. Any critiques? Anything you'd like to hear that we didn't go over?
Eye opener.
I see that. Thank you. Eye-opening. Yeah, it is eye-opening, right? It's possible. A lot of people, oh, I can't retire. We hear that all the time when we deal with clients. Oh, you have a pension? Oh, you have $800,000 in the bank? We'll make it. We'll try to make it work. If you need 60K a year, yeah. You know, this is also assuming you keep investing, right? If you don't keep investing and your money's not growing, it's likely not going to keep up with inflation, right? So a plan is important, and sticking to the plan is important. And that's what I help people with, making sure they stick to their plan and sharing investment ideas, of course, with them. Okay. All right. And I'll just, again, briefly share my information with you. I think I shared it before. But my contact information, I don't know if you did get it, but I'll make sure it's there for everyone here. And Cindy is going to also send it out to everybody that's here. Again, if you know people who weren't here who could benefit from this information, feel free to share my contact information as well with them as well. Unfortunately, I can't share all of the slides, but again, I could share the biggest takeaways, that link, and my contact information.
Well, thank you, Michael.
Thank you, all of you, for joining. I hope I can, again, do this again, maybe another session. I appreciate all your time, everybody's time here, and I hope to interact with you in the chamber, another chamber event.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go Phillies.
Have a great day.
Thank you.